Hello everyone, I am Da Peng. Let's watch a zombie movie next today. Call it Weird Fight number 13. This movie has a strong taste. To facilitate the review, all we can do is protect the horses. I hope friends can understand more. Story. It happened in a forest park somewhere in the United States. There are 6 medical college students. I will graduate from grade 10 soon. They will be engaged in forensic medicine in the future. The professor applied for a practical simulation. I want them to be able to also experience the work content of forensic doctors. The location is an island in the park. People on the internet call this place Weird Island. The location is quite remote. Basically no one comes. And 6 of them. It was brought to me by a labor camp prisoner. In the next 2 days, this prisoner of labor reform will serve as the cook in the camp. After landing by boat, it still takes 40 minutes to drive to the simulation location. While they're gone, let's take a look at the professor's side first. He contacted a local agency, borrowed 3 corpses from the morgue. The degree of decay is different. The way of death is also different. Placed in 3 locations on the island. Let 6 students work in pairs. Examine the body, including the manner of death, time of death, ambient temperature changes. What effect does it have on the decomposition of the corpse? Also on the corpse, some convenient detection methods are left, just to test the student's adaptability. After arranging the body, the professor touched something sticky on his hand. Just ask the old man sent by the company, "What is this thing?" The old man said, "These corpses had been washed with acid. It was used by the company when it was researching new products, and he was not in favor of teaching them this kind of simulation. After all, no one has been on the island for many years. Simulation of wild mountains and ridges. It's better to let the students go to the police station to learn it. There are many things," Professor said. "Doing so is giving them the worst possible experience. If you can even adapt to this situation, then the rest is out of the question." After a while, the students arrived at the camp. There is no signal at the current location. The professor asked the chef to change the batteries of the walkie-talkie. "I want to talk to the students. Let's talk about what you need to pay attention to in the next 2 days, and mission objectives. The majors they are rehabilitating are all different. There are those who study insects and those who study geology, so 3 bodies. They are all arranged according to group allocation. It can be said that the professor did this very carefully. There is no need to elaborate on the mission objectives. The main thing is to pay attention to. There are 3 cabins in the woods. One is a modern campsite. One provides food and equipment. The last one is the dormitory. There can be no contact between the 3 groups. The professor will monitor all actions at the camp. If there is any problem, unified command. No one can act alone. The chef here is installing batteries. The craving for cigarettes is coming. Just ordered one. What I didn't notice is, I touched someone else's bucket of acid. The acid came out and poured on the intercom. Smell the plastic smell. The chef quickly cleaned it up. The walkie-talkie is not broken yet. He didn't tell anyone about it either. I mentioned before that the groups are divided into majors. After putting your luggage in the dormitory, it's time to take action. You have to report on your progress every night, score directly, influence professors' recommendations for future employment. The result of the grouping is that the male protagonist Zhuang and Xiaobai are a pair. The heroine Xiaomei and the long-haired girl are a couple, a pair of peaked cap and curly hair. The intercom that was burned just now, the machine is now in Xiaobai's hands, not wiped clean. I touched it and didn't know what it was. I feel pretty disgusting. After the students left, the chef also started preparing lunch. The environment is worse, but the food must keep up. Today I'm going to make steak and grilled chicken. Steak for 1 person, roast chicken for 2. Put the chicken in the oven. He didn't even look at it and cut the beef. I'll wait until the beef is cut and I'm going to smoke one. The students on the other side have also arrived at the mission location. The corpse that Xiaomei and long-haired girl want to investigate is by the river. Cap and Curly investigate the corpse under the bus. Investigated by Zhuang and Xiaobai in the trunk of a car. The body in the trunk has become bent. Zhuang studied insects. You can tell by the length of the song, growth cycle. But Xiaobai has never learned this. I was so disgusted that I almost vomited in my hand. After seeing this, the professor gave Zhuang 5 points. Xiaobai deducted 10 points. Because during the forensic examination, if you vomit, it will contaminate the site. And I almost vomited when I saw the corpse. It is not the professional quality that a forensic doctor should have. So overall, their team still lost 5 points. And after the chef here came back from smoking, I found that there were 2 items missing. There's still that acid from before on the side of the oven. I don't know what's going on. He told the professor about it. Ask if you need to investigate. When I was in prison, I heard from inmates that this island is not normal. It is said that the police will collude with the experimental institution, using death row prisoners for experiments. This is where I came from, afraid of what might happen if there are still prisoners on the island, will endanger the safety of students. The professor means it's impossible, because I already asked when I came here. There has been no one on this island for several years. Even if there were prisoners, they would not be alive now. And ask the chef to cook quickly. I will put the shells in a while and give them to the students. The chef came first from Xiaomei and Chong-haired girl's side. Before delivering the meal, he first went to the house above to relieve himself. There's a corpse in this room, wearing prisoner's clothes. He didn't know that this meant the rumors were true. Or maybe the professor arranged for an extra corpse to come in? So I told Xiaomei about this. There's a body in the hut next to it. Do you want to go over and have a look? The professor thinks the chef is looking for a sense of presence. After all, did you just say that you were experimenting on prisoners? Just tell Xiaomei not to talk to him. But Xiaomei thinks we should check it out. Show up at work later. Don't miss any possible clues. I asked the long-haired girl to follow the chef to see it. When I saw this, there was indeed a corpse. The female is probably between 30 to 40 years old. The long-haired girl also reported this matter to the professor. The signal on the island is not good to begin with. The other one was sour. The burned diagonal is still in the professor's hand, so the signal can't be transmitted at all. The two sides lost contact. The long-haired girl was about to tell Xiaomei. The chef saw the corpse moving. Gave him a fright. If you catch up, you will say that the dead are alive and the dead are alive. The long-haired girl didn't believe it and ignored him. He also asked the chef to quickly deliver food to others. I can handle this with Xiaomei later. And after they both left, the corpse also got up, walked out of the hut. Then Xiaomei and the long-haired girl came back to the dormitory, prepared to eat here. The long-haired girl also said that there were really corpses, ready to investigate. Xiaomei means, we should finish getting rid of the bodies by the lake first. After all, is this the real deal? I also gave the long-haired girl a video recorder. First, take a photo of the actual cabin. After the mission is over, call them to study together. After Xiaomei left, the chef is here, De Zhuang and the others are here. I know no one would believe it if the corpse could move. So I told De Zhuang and Xiaobai, it would be best for both of you not to fight. When taking action, you should always pay attention to what is behind you. And after he left De Zhuang, ready to give curly hair, when they sent it, I saw the body in that hut just now. I'm walking through the woods. He was so frightened that he ran away quickly. What if it's really like what the legend says? Experiment on living people. Research zombies. How dangerous is it to stay here? I just want to go back and tell the professor that there is indeed a problem. But I ran too fast. I didn't notice that my foot got stuck and I fell unconscious. De Zhuang and Xiaobai at the same time. I also discovered that the walkie-talkie didn't work. I thought it was out of battery, so I wanted to go back and change the battery. Xiaobai also got stuck halfway along the road. In fact, I saw someone walking over. This is definitely not dazzling. Definitely a guy in a uniform. But De Zhuang just didn't believe what he said. And after the long-haired girl went to the hut, I also discovered that the body was missing. He wants to contact the professor, but the intercom doesn't work. I can only try to investigate on my own. Haven't taken 2 steps forward yet. I saw the female zombie just now. The long-haired girl was so frightened that she ran directly into the bushes. There are so many branches in this tree that it can block your vision. But what I didn't expect was that the zombies came over after smelling the smell. Long-haired girl at the same time. My vision is stuck, and I am stuck inside, tangled in tree branches, and unable to get out. Just like that, the zombies bit me several times, and ate half of his fingers. The current location is not far from Xiaomei town. Intercom doesn't work, but I can hear cries for help outside. Follow the sound and come over to take a look. The long-haired girl is dying, covered in blood. I guess I couldn't care less about the pain at the time. It was forced out of the bushes. He took the long-haired girl back to the dormitory. Prepare to bandage the wound first. But the long-haired girl still couldn't stand it. Died in Xiaomei's arms. The professor cannot contact the De Zhuang group and Xiaomei group. He's quite anxious. When the chef woke up, he ran back and said, let's go quickly. There is probably more than one corpse that has been resurrected. Maybe it's the product of previous biochemical experiments. Professor believes in science. I think it is impossible for a dead person to be resurrected. Biological and chemical weapons cannot do this. Still don't believe the chef's words. Meanwhile, the lights in the camp are now out again. There's probably something wrong with the generator. I need to repair the generator. Wait until the students come back. What the two of them didn't notice was that, now displayed in monitoring, there's a zombie coming from the De Zhuang group. He's eating the corpse in the trunk. The death of the long-haired girl frightened Xiaomei. Legs are weak. The professor can't be reached yet. Don't know what to do. At this time, the body of the long-haired girl suddenly stood up, still preparing to attack him. Now Xiaomei doesn't care about the older ones. I took a wallpaper knife from the side. Just give it to the long-haired girl. The long-haired girl fell to the ground temporarily after being injured. Xiaomei is temporarily safe too. After a while, Cap and Curly are back at camp. I want to ask why no one sent them food. The chef said I'm on my way to deliver it to you. I saw a body walking in the woods. It scared me away. This reminds me of the duck cap. Before, I did seem to hear something moving in the woods. He trusts the chef. I suggest the professor contact a helicopter as soon as possible. Let's run out of here first. The professor thinks this is nonsense. Let Cap and Curly go back to investigate the body. If you don't go, I will deduct all your points. After Dezhuang and Xiaobai here change the batteries, return to the car here too. It's kind of weird to find a body that's been eaten. No matter how many areas he eats, he won't be able to eat so quickly. Xiaobai has seen people wearing football uniforms before. The sixth sense told him that this island is dangerous. Ignore Dezhuang and prepare to go back to the camp first. But as I walked, I ran into zombies. Not one yet. The two zombies cooperated and forced him into a corner. Xiaobai was eaten like this. The cry is very loud. Dezhuang and the camp heard it. I only found out after asking after meeting. Xiaobai didn't return to the camp at all. Also not back are Xiaomei and Chong-haired girl. What the chef means is that he is probably in danger. The first person to discover the body was Xiaomei's side. Theoretically, they were both the first to be killed. Dezhuang became anxious after hearing this, because Xiaomei is his partner. Now I'm very worried about my girlfriend's safety. The professor now also believes something is wrong. Tell them not to make any noise. I haven't heard the screams of Xiaomei and long-haired girl yet. I guess they're still safe. Think about how to save people first and then talk about it. The remaining 3 students decided to split up. Dezhuang goes to find Xiaomei and long-haired girl. Curly hair and peaked hat went out to find Xiaobai. If you want to see someone alive, you want to see their corpse if they die. Let the professor and the chef stay at the camp. Use surveillance to see what zombies are doing. If anything happens, use the walkie-talkie to contact you immediately. At the same time, the long-haired girl rested for a while and came back to life again. Xiaobai also followed the scent and chased Xiaomei. This is coming in from the floor, but got stuck in the middle. Xiaomei first inserted a wooden stick into the long-haired girl's mouth. Nailed. I took another bottle of acid from the wall and poured it on Xiaobai. Even if I can't kill you, I'll burn you half to death. At first glance, the zombies don't seem to be afraid of pain. Xiaomei thought of another trick. Pick up a piece of wood that was broken by Xiaobai. Just slit his neck. It hasn't been settled here yet. The long-haired girl is here again. That wooden stick was inserted into my cheek just now. Push forward. I picked it up along my face. This time, Xiaomei can't bear it anymore. A wooden board was inserted into the long-haired girl's head. We have to kill one first before talking about it. Otherwise, they would pull each other and fight each other. I can't bear to fight until dawn. His method is effective. After the death of the long-haired girl, Xiaomei can now deal with Xiaobai with peace of mind. The gentleman made a bomb using chemicals. Climb out along the room and wait for Xiaobai to chase. Just emerged. Then he stuffed the bomb into Xiaobai's neck. Wouldn't it be over if I blow up your little turtle grandson? At night, Dezhuang is also looking for Xiaomei in the dormitory. At the same time, a zombie followed behind him. The two are stuck in the field of vision and are motionless. When you are ready to wait for the zombies to eat the corpse of the long-haired girl, take the opportunity to hit him with a wooden board. But this zombie is biochemically modified. There's no way the board can penetrate it. Someone also found waste paper. Can only run away. Try to get back to the camp and join the main force. And the camp here is not safe either. The female zombie smells meat. I'm eating the chef's ingredients. The professor has a gun. I want to surprise the zombies from behind. Just let the chef hide in the house. But what they didn't find was, there is one under the house too. The chef made a sound as soon as he entered the room. The zombies heard it and rushed out after crashing through the floor. The chef used gasoline to make a Molotov cocktail and smashed it, but there is no fire around him. It's no use just losing all your oil. In the end, he was bitten and dragged into the floor. When the professor came back, he was gone. He also knows the chef is most likely to be in trouble. There is such a big hole in the campground. It's definitely not safe anymore. Curls and peaked cap on the other side. I went to the warehouse to get some weapons. I haven't found Xiaobai yet, but they are not wilderness survival expeditions, so there is nothing useful in terms of weapons. The most lethal thing is to cut. A small axe for firewood. Dezhuang and Xiaomei here. Then he quietly touched the bus. This professor is here too. Ask them if they have ever seen a peaked cap and a curly hair. Dezhuang said he didn't see it. I guess they went in a different direction. The professor asked them to hide in the car. Don't go out and go see the other side yourself. Before I left a gun for Xiaomei. After a while, the chef turned into a zombie and came to the bus. After Curly and the others encountered zombies on the way, they went to the car that brought them here during the day. In order to avoid it, I had to get into the car first. Just honking the horn like this. Xiaomei and Dezhuang heard the sound. This car can be driven. The peaked cap was oiled down and the zombies were thrown away, driving forward aimlessly with curly hair. After all, intercom cannot be used. They don't know where the others are either. Xiaomei and Zhuang want to go to the car to find the curly guys. The chef rushed over as soon as I got off the car. Zhuang prepares to fight in order to protect Xiaomei. When Xiaomei gets nervous, she raises her hand and hits her. What a coincidence. The first shot hit Zhuang in the back. I was hugged down all of a sudden. The chef even looked at him for a moment. Just such a hesitation. Xiaomei opened the second item, hit the chef. Then Zhuang and the others, curly hair and the others, walked along the road. They also successfully came together. All you have to do next is find the professor. But on the way to search, I met another zombie. Someone blocked the road from the front. Some hit the glass from the side, crushed a few to death, knocked a few away. In the end, there was only one left, lying on the front windshield. The strong man is injured and cannot fight. The cap has to drive. Xiaomei shot, but was afraid of accidentally killing her, so I can only let curly hair become one with the zombies. This position where the two were fighting will block the car's view. A peaked cap cannot see the road. The car crashed into the campground. Xiaomei and Zhuang have no big problem in the back row. Curly hair was killed on the spot. The peaked cap of the peaked cap is lost. Nothing to lose. We have to come in and catch them. At the critical moment, Zhuang picked up the gun. Just raise your hand to a zombie and hit it. It also solves the problem for the team. After adjusting the status, 3 people can drive accurately. Prepare to rush out of the park, but there is a tree stump outside the gate. It's dark and can't see clearly. It just so happens that the left headlight of their car is broken. Just hit the tree. A rollover occurred. Nothing serious happens to people. I guess I want to get the car right again. That's unlikely. So we can only move forward on foot. At this time, the peaked hat found that he was injured. My knee probably fell off. It just so happens that several of them are studying medicine. Xiaomei knows how to set bones. Just help him move the place where he dropped it. Got them together again. After walking for a while, I found that there are many houses in this area. I guess it's the quality of the staff in previous prison experiments. The peaked cap was found in a utility room, but no work. Can only be used as a melee weapon. Zhuang also returned the gun to Xiaomei. Let him search separately. Don't talk about searching if you are injured. Being able to survive until now is already a blessing. It was Xiaomei who encountered the zombies first. Based on the principle of not panic when you have a gun in your hand, prepare for a surprise attack from behind. But he is still a little bit behind in listening to small things. I thought I was going around the back, but they were actually surrounded by zombies. Fortunately, it was discovered in time, but the first shot was a bit off. It hit the stomach. The second shot was also a bit off, hit the eye. Thinking about the third shot, I will get closer and hit. How can it be deflected if you shoot it in the head, but the gun is out of bullets? The zombie saw that you had been pretending for a long time. Now it's my turn. He rushed up and knocked down Xiaomei. Just when I'm about to stutter. The peaked cap is here. Pierced the zombie's mouth with an arrow from behind. The arrow is stuck right in the middle of the tooth. This time I can't eat even if I want to. A few people have been like this. I hid until dawn the next day. The professor went out for a walk. I came back without doing anything. The old man heard gunshots last night. I'm going to come over this morning to check on the situation. The professor poured fire on the old man. Ask why you know this is dangerous. No reminder yesterday. Let him tell you everything he made now. If you don't tell me, I'll beat you to death. The old man said it. Previously, the company used death row prisoners for biochemical experiments. As a result, something went wrong. These prisoners have all become zombies. But that was a few years ago. He doesn't know that the zombies haven't starved to death yet. That's right. That zombie with an arrow in the back of his head is coming. The professor threw the old man over to delay. The zombies can't close their mouths, eating more slowly. The professor is getting ready to drive away, but I found the key was not in the car. Wait until the zombie bites the old man to death. I also saw where the key is. Zombie now. There's an arrow hanging from his mouth. The movie ends here. Finally, let's talk about it briefly. This article seems to have been on a video website before, but then he was taken down. Maybe it's because the taste is relatively strong. His film production cost is very small. Zombie outfit. It's not like the ones we saw before. This movie is full of rotting corpses. Overall, it's not that special, right? But the plot is relatively okay. The cause and process have all been clearly explained. If you have seen other zombie movies, it's easy to accept it when you look at this again. If you haven't seen anything else, this movie does tend to create some shadows. I personally think it's a bit funny. The fighting scenes are not intense, but it can also be seen that he is not fighting. What about friends who have strong tolerance? You can watch the original film. Okay, that's it for today's content. I hope friends who like it can give it a like, support it. Here, thank you all. Thank you for watching. See you next time.